Hi, hello, I'm Sam Harris and I read, review and discuss fantasy and science fiction books. And it's time for the Friday show. So every Friday I recap what I've been reading and enjoying this week. I will talk to you guys about the books that I have read, the books that I'm currently reading, the books that I'm reading next, and then we're also going to talk about some channel stats. We'll talk about the videos that have gone up this week and the videos that are going up next week. It's been a pretty fun week on the channel, so I think it's time to get straight on into things. So first off, let's talk about books that I have read. So normally this would be a section for books that I have finished, but I decided this week to DNF Orbital by Samantha Harvey. I don't regret the time that I spent reading it. I think that if I was in the right frame of mind, I would have finished it. But I'm reading it on my Kindle, right? And because it's quite a short book, with short books, I like to have the time left in book as the progress indicator in the bottom left corner of the Kindle, and it kept going up. So I was enjoying the book, and I was reading through, and it started off that it was going to be 2 hours, and then by the time I was 30% through the book, which was not a quick process to get to that 30% stage, I got to 30% and it said I had 3.5 hours left, and it just was steadily climbing. And I did have to reread a few pages because I was reading a bit too late at night, that sort of thing. But really, I think that Orbital is the exact right book for me when I'm in the perfect mood for it. I just wasn't in the mood. So I decided to DNF it, and I started on the weekend. So this is last weekend, so I read like 1 and a bit evenings of Orbital, and then I shifted on to something, old familiar, the thing that I often read when I am or have read a couple of times this year when I felt a bit stuck on reading, which is Wheel of Time. So I'm currently reading Path of Daggers, 8th book in the Wheel of Time. I've actually gone, I think I'm past the halfway point now. So the last time I read this physically, I was at chapter 13, but I'm pretty certain that if I checked today, I've read at least one more chapter. So I think I've read at least one more chapter. Read it via audiobook on the drive to Bristol today, because I met up with Ross and Laura of Hardy's Books in Bristol on their way down to Cornwall. Had an absolutely lovely lunch with the guys, had some falafel, and then I treated myself to a pistachio cannoli. So all around lovely time, lovely to catch up with my best booktube buds. And so I've been reading Path of Daggers. I have not been rushing through it, although I read 200 pages in like a day and a half, and then it's taken me the rest of the week to read the next 100 pages. But yeah, I'm over the halfway point now, and really enjoying it. I decided that I wanted to save this because I'm going away for the weekend with my family this weekend, and there'll probably end up being quite a bit of quiet time, and in that quiet time I was like, I'll bring along Wheel of Time and I will get a load of reading done. And I also will probably be doing a little bit of walking around with the pram, trying to get the baby to sleep so that she doesn't disturb everyone. If we can get the baby to sleep outside while going for a walk in the pram, that's a lot better than, say, if you have her in the house and everyone has to be quiet while she's trying to sleep. It's just not as fun for the whole family. We're kind of used to it because she's our baby, but you don't want to put that on like my dad, my sister, or her boyfriend, who are the people coming with us. However, so reading more of Path of Daggers, I love that I've got to the halfway point of this book without a POV from the protagonist of this series. I love when Jordan does stuff like that and tells stories about the main characters without necessarily involving the main characters. I wonder if that's why a lot of people see these books as sloggy, but for me, I love those alternative perspectives. I'm really enjoying this one. I think it also helps knowing that it's quite short. For a Wheel of Time book, so for most books it's quite long, but for Wheel of Time, being under 600 pages is a bit of a feat. So yeah, really enjoying this one. It is also helped by the fact that this specific version is, I think, the best edition of these specific covers that I collect from Orbit. So it is really, really floppy. The pages are nice and thick. They're not paper thin. Paper thin is the wrong term. They're not Bible paper thin like the Shadow Rises. Font's a good size. It's very floppy. It, stays open when you put it down on a surface, and it does not have anywhere on the front an Amazon or Prime Video sticker, fake sticker, which a lot of these editions have. So ideally, I would have the entire series in this edition. I think I have most of the books in this edition because I did hunt them down. Yeah. Really excited to be back reading this one, and as long as this one does not end on a bum note, as long as it ends as it's begun for me, then I am hoping to read a second Wheel of Time book in October to get closer to being back on track. I'm still going to be 1 month behind if I do that, but I also might read 2 in November if I can. God knows how. I think my reading is just going to be completely disorganised for the rest of the year, but really enjoying the Wheel of Time. It's a good book series. After I finish Path of Daggers, I'm going to be going to the audio book that I have for Death Tax by Andrew Givler, which will bring me completely up to date on the deck collection. Be a nice change to go into a slightly less complicated urban fantasy world rather than the extremely complicated and expansive universe of the Wheel of Time, or multiverse in some interpretations. So yeah, really looking forward to getting back. I love the deck collection characters. It'll be nice to get up to date. When I want to do interviews and discussions with authors, I do prefer to have read all of their books or the lion's share of their books. So like, say for example, I was interviewing an author and they'd done 3 series. I'd like to have completely finished their latest work to be able to discuss with them. That's why, even though you'll see I've got a pretty good relationship with people like Philip Chase and Joe, JCM Byrne, I have waited until I finished their respective series to start planning and then reaching out to have an author interview discussion. And I would like to do the same with Andrew Givler. Obviously, he is a professional YouTuber. He's got a very, very busy channel, so that may be hard to arrange / impossible to arrange, but I would like to do it because I'd love to talk to him about these books. I think they're fantastic, and just genuinely looking forward to having a chat. So let's get the old iPad out and let's talk channel stats. The one thing I was going to say as well, also very quickly, if I finish Death Tax this week, Cup coming as well, and I might do because it's not like it's a 30-hour book, it's like 12 hours on the audio book. I've only got the audio for this one. I haven't bothered to get the Kindle because I've enjoyed the audio for the others so much. So yeah, if I get to that stage with Death Tax, then I will start Winter's Heart probably. If Path of Daggers shits the bed and I come away with a middling opinion on this particular book, I may read Fury of the Gods by John Gwynne, or I might read Fury of the Gods after Winter's Heart. Possibly with Winter's Heart I might also want to find something short to put in between as well, so something short of a different genre. I think if I look at the shelves, sorry about that, we're going on holiday tomorrow and it's been a very, very long day of working and tidying and doing house jobs and packing for the holiday. I've already said about the holiday, you guys know. So maybe I'll try and read something short and sci-fi or urban fantasy between Winter's Heart and Fury of the Gods. I'd quite like to read Fury of the Gods, or start Fury of the Gods, in October. Because it's coming out on the 22nd, which I'm obviously not going to hit. but it would be nice to read it around launch with everyone else. I have pre-ordered a copy, so yes. So what else was I going to say? Oh, we're on to channel stats. So this week I have had 1,558 views, which is a pretty good week for me. It is a very slight increase on the previous week. The rest of the stats were roughly the same, apart from going into the money zone, but we'll talk about that later. So it's been a good week for views. Interestingly, I put up a video yesterday which overnight has massively increased in views, but I won't be able to 100% see the tally of those views until tomorrow. So like 10 o'clock tomorrow is when my YouTube tends to update, like 10 o'clock in the evening. So I won't be able to see the impact of those views this week. It'll be next week when I'll see the impact of those views, and I'll also be seeing the impact of those views on the AdSense income. I've had 13 subscribers, new subscribers this week, which I'm really pleased about. That's the most subscriber gain we've had in a little while. It's been kind of in the like 5 to 10 range for almost a month or so, maybe 2 months. But yeah, 13 is great. 3 have come in off of the Kindle Paperwhite review. So I did put a specific section in there about the kind of content that I cover and the books that I talk about, and have said, you know, give me a shot, give me a sub. So hopefully that video having a little more success will bring in some more members to the community. Kind of why I tend to make these Kindle reviews. It's kind of you know, it's not a double-edged sword. It's like the opposite of a double-edged sword. It's a thing that serves 2 purposes, and both those purposes are great. So for me, I love tech and I love tech reviews. I've watched so many tech reviews around the new Apple launch season that's been going on. Like I bought the new AirPods and I got the new iPhone, obviously we've talked about coming next week, while I'm away for the day in Weymouth at the Sea Life Centre, so that's going to be fun. Having to try and rearrange that delivery after waiting over a month for it, but c'est la vie, whatevs. And I really like tech reviews and tech content, so I wanted to kind of put my own booktube spin on reviewing Kindles, and I hope that people enjoy that. And if you found the channel through that video, hello, absolutely lovely to have you here. There is going to be at the end of this video a suggested videos list, which will YouTube will try and pick you a video that it thinks that you'll like, and there's tons and tons of content, and I've organised everything into playlists. So if you're interested in certain book series, in certain authors, all of that is playlisted, so very easy for you to watch. And for something like Wheel of Time, you'll see there's like 20 plus videos on this series. Money zone. So going into the money zone this week, it's been a great week, and we've made over almost £1. I say over, we've made more than last week by almost £1, which is like a almost 20% gain. So £6.39 in YouTube AdSense income this week. And one of the big things, as I was saying earlier, is that my big video, only the first 200 views of the 1,000 that it's now received have been counted towards this income. So tomorrow, whatever income I've made from that particular video is going to, you know, quadruple. So really excited for that one. Everyone who's given their time to my channel to watch my content, again, I'm incredibly grateful. And for having enough subscribers to be able to monetize and all this sort of stuff. It's something that I really never thought I would get to be honest. I thought that I would either lose interest or the channel would just fail. And I never thought I'd get this far, and I owe everything to you guys, the subscribers, and to my friends and collaborators. So yeah, thanks muchly. Brilliant experience. Love BookTube. Is this inspired by spending a lot of time with Ross and Laura today, who are 2 of my favourite people? Maybe. Videos this week. So on Monday, up went the Star Summit review, which is the third book in the deck collection. So obviously you have to have read the first two books in the deck collection to really be able to enjoy that video. It's non-spoiler for Star Summit, but it does spoil some elements of the previous two books. So I do try and beat around the bush as much as possible, but there's only so much beating around the bush you can do before you hit the bush. On Tuesday, I posted a video about the concept of doing a TBR versus mood reading. And I think I landed in that video to the effect that I kind of feel like I just want to mood read forever, but there are some things that I miss when I mood read. So like I mood read all summer and didn't read a single Sunita book, and I was pretty good at doing Sunita books every 1 or 2 months. So need to have a look into that and see if there's something I can do to make myself a bit more organised, but still not feel like I'm obligated to follow a list, you know? So maybe I will, one of my ideas was to put like every book and book series that I'm interested in reading on a big spreadsheet and then just randomise it, and like do a Wheel of Fortune style spin, and if it just lands on something that I'm not particularly interested in, just spin it again, spin it again until I get something that I really want to read. There's a few things, so there are some books that kind of dictate when they're read. So Wind and Truth, for example, there's much more likelihood that the community will be interested in my thoughts on that book around launch in December. Same for Fury of the Gods. However, when it comes to other books, like I've got the Dragonbone Chair on my shelf, right? Just got that from Broken Binding. I really want to read it, but there's less interest in that currently from the BookTube community. And as I've said before, this channel is about my reading and what I enjoy reading, but also I want to provide value to you guys as an audience. So that's that. Moving on, after that I did the Paperwhite review, which we've discussed a few times. It's got like 1,100 views right now. The graph is starting to kind of level off, which means that there's less people are being suggested the video, less people are watching it. However, if you've joined the channel, as I said, by watching that video, hello, lovely to have you. And after that I did a Wandering In video, and probably not the best thing to follow up a video that's been seen by a huge amount of people. However, I love reading the Wandering In. I was able to read 2 chapters this week instead of 1, which is the first time I've been able to do that for a very long time. And I actually almost read a third, but decided to spend the time making some videos instead. I'm hoping in future to be able to set aside a bit more time to read that series, but it will depend on being able to keep the like headway and lead that I have on videos and stuff, because I am slowly running out of road. I think I'm only I think I might be 1 book ahead of my reviews, because Return to Adan, the review's coming out on Monday, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So Return to Adan's coming out on Monday. Then the next week I have no book to review, so I will have to definitely finish this next week. Next week then, let's talk about that. So Monday's the Return to Adan video review. I have already filmed that, and it's not edited, but it's in the can, and so that will be out on Monday. Even though I'm away for the weekend, all I need to do on Monday afternoon is just pop it quickly through the editor. Then I'm hoping, and ideally we'll be doing my Wheel of Time video that I've been talking about for a while. I asked a few BookTube friends to submit some clips, and I've now received clips from everyone who said they'd like to take part. I did try and reach out to a few more booktubers, but one of the big issues is that I'm still quite a small channel, and not everyone is willing to take time out of their day to make me a little clip. But the people who have, I'm genuinely incredibly thankful, and I'll need to film some top and tail stuff around that, but looking forward to releasing that next week, possibly. I don't know if I've got any other ideas, if I don't get round to that one. So maybe next week is the week that one of my friends needs to bully me to make sure that video gets made, because it's just a lot of work to put that together, so I need to be bullied, I think. I'm going to do another BookTubers Re-Ranked episode next week. I did do Mike from Mike's Book Reviews originally, and one of the reasons I picked Mike from Mike's Book Reviews is because I have kind of chatted to him on a couple of live streams that I've been on Philip's channel, and he's a really lovely guy, and we've interacted a few times on Twitter, and I was like, I feel like we kind of know each other enough that I can make a video about you. So I've done that. I am also considering, I feel like there's a few other booktubers that I could do. I would like to do people that I kind of know. I don't know if I want to just go out there and be like, I'm going to do Murphy Napier or Daniel Green or whatever, who are massive booktubers who obviously have a big audience. People are looking for videos about them, but I don't know them that well, so it feels a bit weird to make a video about them, you know. I put Murphy in one of my video about Annihilation, because I was like, you know, she loves this series and that's what inspired me to read it. But I don't know if I want to make a video that's like about her, you know. So yeah, the short list for the people I want to make videos about are my friends to start with, so people like Ross and Laura from Hardy's Books, and Andrew Watson from the channel Andrew Watson, Philip Chase, of course, and I'd like to do one maybe for Matt from Matt's Fantasy Book Reviews, because I love his channel. There'll also be a Wandering In episode next week. As I said, in an ideal world, I'll try and be reading multiple chapters again. I'm going to set a kind of like minimum of 1 chapter, you know, but I'd like to hit like a stretch goal of 3. And I think that's the method I'm going to use to read Wandering In from now on, is to look at doing between 1 and 3 chapters per week. If you haven't gotten in on the Wandering In yet, there's a full playlist on the channel that goes through the whole thing, so you can read along with me using the free version of the book on the website, which is generally the best version. So there you go. That is everything for this week's episode of the Friday show. In terms of other media, I have played a little bit more Metaphor ReFantasio. Not really something I've got too many opinions on yet. I've also watched the first 2 episodes of The Lincoln Lawyer, season 3 from Netflix, and really I love that show. I really want to read some of Michael Connelly's books. I know I mostly talk about SFF here, but I do like the TV show Lincoln Lawyer and the movie Lincoln Lawyer, and I really like the Reacher TV show, and so I've been thinking about adding some thrillers in. So we've got like crime thrillers and all that sort of stuff, you know, and then the legal stuff from The Lincoln Lawyer I really enjoy. So yeah, might be that next year we start adding in some thrillers and horrors to the mix. In fact, I have a horror to read, so maybe after Winter's Heart I could read the Christopher Golden horror that I got sent by Titan Books, my first ever physical review arc, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that might end up being the one that I read. And finally, not much else to say apart from I hope you have a lovely weekend. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please give it a like. On your way down to that like button, you'll see there is a comment box, and you can tell me what you've been reading, what you've been playing, what you've been watching, anything else you're interested in or invested in. Let me know and we'll have a chat. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, I'd love it if you subscribed and click that bell icon so that you're notified whenever I put up new content. Maybe we'll be starting to do more live stuff next year, so if you're interested in that, then the best way to find out when it's happening is clicking subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll speak to you on Monday. with a video I recorded today. But don't let that stop you.